Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts pre-opening open house. The Calgary campus is in its final stages of construction and will be set to open our doors in January to our first group of students. Tonight, we'll hear from our faculty and program directors about all the amazing things that are happening at CEA now and into 2022. And we get to talk with Cara Davies, our new Director of Industry Initiatives for Alberta. Mark your calendars for December 16th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we'll be having our second ever grad show on the CEA Education Twitch channel. The show will feature demo reels from our upcoming graduates, and you'll be able to get a true sense of all the possible career specializations our programs offer. Other than that, there's loads of great announcements for 2022 happening over the next few months, so be sure to follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn, and of course, if you have any questions about anything CEA related, please reach out to programs@thecea.ca or check out our website at thecea.ca for loads of detailed information and features on our people and programs. And that's it from me. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the presentation.
My name is Tyler Weiss. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives here at the Center for Entertainment Arts in Vancouver, but also, of course, with the Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts as well. I'm also a visual effects producer, and we've got a few of my shows that I've done here. The 100, if anyone's familiar with that, Man in the High Castle, and Game of Thrones. Here in Vancouver, we did season 6, season 7, and our team did all of the dragons for season 8 here in Vancouver. And again, I always say this, but we had nothing to do with the ending. All that we did were the dragons. I'm working on some other exciting projects that I can't mention at the moment, but looking forward to sharing with you students in Vancouver and Calgary. So look forward to that, I hope. I think it's going to be pretty cool. At the Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts, we've got advanced diploma programs in 3D animation and 3D modeling, visual effects, virtual production. We've got a special guest tonight too, going to talk a little bit about that. And game development, which is coming in September of 2022. And of course, very important, if anyone's interested, which they should be, in our Foundation in Entertainment Arts program. And we'll talk a little bit about that later with our department heads coming in, head of school, etc. What is the CEA at Bow Valley College? What does it mean? And the goal of our advanced programs is to help empower students to be the industry leaders of tomorrow. I know that's a big statement to make, but that's actually what we believe. And with our first graduating class, we're starting to see that. Everybody has to start somewhere. And the leaders of tomorrow, yeah, that's true. I started in this industry almost 20 years ago, and I know you can't tell but looking, but I've been at it for a while. And when we started out, we were young and didn't know anybody, didn't know what we were doing. And now when I go around to the studios, the big studios, all of those same people are the leaders now of teams and managers and producers and supervisors. So when we say things, we mean it. We do empower you to be the leaders of tomorrow. So the key to this program, and any program, but especially this one, if you work hard and develop industry-ready professional skills prior to graduation, we will fight to get you in a studio. And that's something we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. The whole point of coming out of these programs is to apply your skills into the real industry. And the industry is large in Canada. And Calgary growing, very exciting. There, I said it, Calgary. A little bit of student work here. All of these students are placed into a studio now, but there's an example. Push yourself a little bit harder when you're in this program. Do things out of your comfort zone. Of course, that's what you're here for. All of our programs are designed by industry professionals, so you have the knowledge and skills and confidence. Very important. You have to be confident that you can do this work because it's very challenging. And all of those two things, confidence and skills, mesh together to be successful. Again, we'll talk about that shortly. Within the program, the idea is that we help you develop your strengths and discover your passion. What does that mean, discover your passion? Again, those are big words. You may come into this program thinking you want to be, just a compositor or just an animator, but you'll find as you start to learn the different skill sets, you'll start to evolve into something perhaps that you didn't realize you had a passion for because you've never been introduced to it. And we're seeing students, starting to pick their areas of expertise, what they're interested in. So once you have your roadmap, we'll help you maximize on the skills you'll need to be successful on your journey. If you want to be a modeler, if you want to be a comper, obviously we steer you down the right path. And of course, we have a network of mentors and your instructors are the key to this. The instructors at the CEA are world-class. We hire deeply knowledgeable industry professionals that have worked on blockbuster projects. No kidding. Many of your instructors have worked on some of the biggest films there are and are currently working on some of the biggest films that there are. Past films like Lord of the Rings, our game design programs and instructors, Battlefront 2, Halo, things like this, movies like Blade Runner, The Mandalorian, games like Apex, John Wick, etc., Game of Thrones, Sleeping Dogs, Avengers, San Andreas. I could sit here all night with the movie posters. So it's exciting for the instructors and it's exciting for the students to get that kind of knowledge hands-on because they're doing it. And the thing about the CEA is that our curriculum is forever evolving with that. Every movie that we do, every television show that we do, something in our pipeline, something in our process changes. And that has to be adapted. And that's the beauty of the Center for Entertainment Arts. That curriculum is adapted on the fly like that. Powerful tools and resources. Of course, at the CEA, we use everything that the industry uses. We keep it updated. Guest speakers come in and talk about different techniques that they're using that have maybe not even quite been adapted across the industry yet, but something they've discovered. And the access to industry professionals, not even just your instructors, but 2022, I've got an exciting lineup of speakers and master classes and things like that, which you'll be able to attend. And of course, the high level support to maximize your experience. You need help in something, you don't understand something, of course, there are tools to do that. Or you're pushing yourself into something else that you want to learn. And we have that network as well. One of the most important things of our program, in my opinion, because I helped get it going with Melissa and some other folks, of course, in the school, is our work initiative program. And that allowed students, while they were studying, to work in either a project or a real life studio. And of course, be paid while you do that. This is the first year of our graduating class. So in August this year, we saw our first ever graduates from CEA from their 2-year program. And I was reminiscing 2 years before that, standing in front of them as everybody's new, a lot of people coming to Canada for the first time, standing out in front of them and looking at their faces. And they're wondering, I wonder, this is a dream of mine. I want to get into the industry. And what we said was, the Center for Entertainment Arts opens the door, but you are the ones who have to walk through it. And so many did. Here's our alumni successes. Studios like Animal Logic, Animism, Artifacts, Atomic Cartoons, Bardell, Crafty Apes, Digital Domain, COSA VFX, The Distillery VFX, Fat Belly VFX, Fish Flight Entertainment, Hadron Films, Ingenuity, Icon, Image Engine, Mainframe, Netflix, Scanline, Silver Dice Games, Snowball Studios, Solid Alpha VFX, Squid Brain, Track VFX, Wind Sun Sky Entertainment, and that list is growing. I think even today I got a message we should add another name to it. So, like I said, to me, the most important thing is that you learn these skills that you can apply in the industry. And then the industry is starting to recognize the CEA and obviously hiring our students directly out of school. Speaking of industry professionals, I would like to talk about our next guest, Cara Davies. She's now the Director of Industry Initiatives for Alberta. She's also a visual effects producer at Image Engine at the studio that I'm at. I've been a colleague of Cara's for 6 years, maybe 7, which is hard to believe. What does the Director of Industry Initiatives for Alberta for the BBC Centre for Entertainment and Arts do? Cara's there to help connect the BBC CEA students to the exciting VFX, animation, and gaming industries. She'll help spread awareness throughout Alberta for the incredible career potentials for young artists in the industry, build strong relationships with Alberta industry and studios, of course, mentor and support students and faculty for anything that they need within the industry. And of course, take those students and help connect you to the industry when you're ready, of course. So I'd like to invite Cara Davies on, if she's there.
I'm here.
There she is.
Hello.
I know, it's festive here.
It's very
You
festive.
can smell it in here. It
It's
smells like
nice.
roasted chestnuts,
It does.
cinnamon.
It looks like you should have some mulled wine.
Oh, it's cooking.
Nice.
It's simmering.
Nice.
Cara, you've worked on some huge films. I'm going to brag about you slightly.
Sounds
so you
good.
have to sit there and listen.
Okay.
Films like Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald, The Mandalorian, you've just finished. You're currently working on another show. Can we say what that is? Maybe not.
Maybe not, but very soon.
Logan. I read on the internet that you were born in Wales. Is that true?
That is 100% correct.
I also heard that dragons came from Wales and they might be real. And some
They
people
were the original, Wales was the original place that created the dragons that were cool, not Game of Thrones. I'm sorry to say, Tala.
Yes.
Yes.
I imagine that there's not a huge visual effects industry in Wales.
No, it's not. London is kind of like the biggest hub in kind of the UK for the visual effects industry.
Mhm.
And it's where I worked for a couple of years, 3 years, I think I started out at Framestore. But yeah, Wales itself is not known for visual effects.
Did you start your career in the UK?
I did. I started in, I guess 14 years ago now. I started off as a production assistant at Framestore Animation. They did a show called The Tale of Despero for Universal Studios. And I was on that project for a year and a half. I learned a lot of stuff. And then after The Tale of Despero, I stayed at Framestore, but moved into the visual effects department, working on Where the Wild Things Are. And that's kind of where I, learned and grew more into my career and path that I've taken into the world of visual effects.
Not that easy, right? When you started, did you think that you wanted to be a producer? Because it's a long road to become a producer. And there's lots of moments, I suppose, where one could give up on that. Did you know that you wanted to be in film when you were younger?
Not really. Like, I knew from a relatively young age, I wanted to do something in the media form. Like at 16, I left school and I went to college specifically to do animation. And the university I went to was more media production, so more live television work. That's kind of like the focus was on. But initially, I actually thought I wanted to be an editor until I did a work placement as an editor and realized actually that still wasn't what was kind of like deep in my soul. I guess, as to kind of like really what I was feeling really passionate about. This stuff that inspired me to kind of like Jurassic Park is like top 3 film of all time. And like just seeing what they were able to do visually on that film. And like, to this day, that film still holds up incredibly well. And yeah, it was like that influence and knowing that there was something that I wanted to do. And then it's, it was really, the reason I actually found out about Framestore was more so someone I went to college with worked on Superman, and I went on his IMDb. I was like, how is somebody that I know worked in this, big film production, and I noticed Framestore, and applied to many places, but managed to get 3 interviews there and hired as a PA, which was which was good. And yeah, at times it's challenging to kind of know, is this where you want to kind of be? Is this correct and right? But I can't imagine myself doing anything else at all.
We don't have much time, so I'm going to rush through that. I remember this project, the Studio Logan. This was a technically difficult project. And we'll get in, we don't need to get into any of that, but do you remember the first time that you were like, wow, I'm working on a huge project that I'm in charge of, and this is for real? Do you remember this project as being one like that? But you'd worked on quite a few before.
Yeah, but this one particularly for me was because I went down to Fox Studios, and we had some like meetings and stuff there. It was kind of that was for me was oh, this is really cool, because like I'm going in as staff and having meetings in LA at Fox Studio with Logan. That was kind of like I've had several pinch me moments during my time working in the industry, and that was definitely one of them. And also it's a very iconic character as well. It was kind of cool.
Yes, and all of these movies that you've worked on, they're extremely technically difficult. The clients you've worked with, obviously the hugely popular Mandalorian, and working now what they're calling virtual production. And I would say currently maybe the Mandalorian is the truly virtual production. What you've been in the industry for a long time. You've been a PA working through different things and watching visual effects sort of evolve rapidly over the course of 15 years. Is this the future? And what do you think about that? What do you think about that? It's not going away, of course, virtual production. It's amazing, and we're still in its infancy. Would you agree with that?
No, 100%. I'm like hearing from like clients, like almost on all projects that bidding or dealing with, that they're now interested in virtual production. I think seeing the successes of The Mandalorian really set kind of like the stage and the bar for this kind of technology. And there's so much more you can get from doing this way of working, that it's we still have our challenges in visual effects to kind of like really integrate the work. And this helps with you get the correct like reflections and lighting directions on the actors. And it helps, and it's more it's cost effective for the clients, where there's so much content being created as well. There's also, if you have series that are using the same background, all of a sudden you already, once you've created your scene, you've already got it for your series, really. So yeah, it's a really exciting time, and it's really cool that Bow Valley are going to be introducing that as part of the curriculum.
If anyone watching, students, I'm sure that you've seen it, but The Mandalorian, Cara and her team won an award for this particular sequence. I guess maybe the ice spider. What is it called?
Yeah, this was the mother spider. We won an Annie Award for best animation in a TV series, so that was really cool. And like the Mandalorian series itself has won an Emmy for season 1 and 2 overall, which is cool. But yeah, this the animation for the mother spider in particularly for Image Engine won the Annie, which is cool.
Yeah, very cool. So in closing, I remember one time when I went to the Emmys, the production work is difficult sometimes. So, you're at the end of the show, you deliver it, and then maybe you do get an award like that. It's a nice thing to get. But I remember being at the Emmys and just standing there having a drink and looking across at Steve Buscemi, Anthony Bourdain, and I thought to myself, what am I doing here? Do you have any moments where you realize this is my career and this is crazy?
Yeah, I guess the craziest one for me would be working on American Sniper, and Clint Eastwood came in to the studio and he gave us a brief, and like it was actually really difficult to, really pay attention, because I'm like, wow, I'm being paid for Clint Eastwood to tell me what he wants done on his movie. And Bradley Cooper was there as well. But like, it was like Bradley Cooper for me was just like, oh my God, you're just there too. But I was just so in awe of like Clint, like, yeah, whoever. I was like, Clint Eastwood, like he's a legend. Like it's like grew up loving his movies from acting and directing. And it was, yeah, that was like to this day, that's kind of like the most surreal moment I've had in my life, let alone a career moment.
Did you hear anything that he said? Or were you just staring at his face?
Yeah, it's all a blur at this point. Yeah.
I've actually heard he's very easy to work with, and I think you told me that.
Yeah, it was actually a really cool experience, because there was a lot of stuff where, traditionally in visual effects, we can fix a lot of stuff. Whereas you would notice, hey, this is in the plate. Like, do you want us to fix this? And he's like, no, that's how it's shot. That's how it is. So I think that's kind of, he wants to try and keep it grounded and real as possible.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Cara, I think the students of the BBC CEA are lucky to have you. And stay tuned, everyone. Cara and I are working together to bring you some programming, I suppose we'll call it, next year.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Cara.
Thank you. I'm excited to be a part of the team.
Enjoy dinner.
Bye.
Advanced diploma programs, as I mentioned. I know someone who knows more about it. I'd like to welcome Melissa Best. She's our head of school for visual effects and animation, and you students will be seeing and hearing a lot from her. Melissa, are you there?
Hi, Tyler.
Hi there.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm going to let you take the stage.
Absolutely. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our VFX for virtual production and the 3D animation and modeling programs here at Bow Valley College CEA. So we really want to review that the advanced programs are really designed to create capable and competent industry professionals. So we work really, really hard to mold each artist and to ensure that they're going to be successful upon graduation. The other thing that we really, really focus on is the industry demo reel, of course, the CV, the cover letters, and any kind of soft skills. These are really important because when the demo reel is done, the next step is the interview phase and ensuring that you can collaborate and communicate with the rest of the team. So we make sure that you have all of those skill sets. So again, not only can you get a really great job when you graduate, but we're also looking to line you up with those industry work initiatives while you're still in school, if you show us that you're ready for them. So just a bit of a breakdown of our courses. Of course, the advanced diplomas are 2 years in length, and each one of them is a total of 6 terms. So there's 6 terms in total of those 2 years. And each course, each week is 20 hours worth of classes. So you're really only focusing on 4 courses every week, which is really nice because you get to really sink in and you get to understand that material really in depth. We have industry standard softwares and tools and so forth. We have a lot of industry guests. You just met Cara. Really excited to have her on the team. And we're going to bring in other industry professionals that also have really great experience and stories to share with you as well. And of course, there's the industry mentorships for final projects. So in term 6, the students will pick their specialty and they will be aligned with the industry mentor that is their specialty. And they will help work alongside each artist to ensure that their demo reel is as polished as possible for their graduation. And then of course, the student work initiatives, which are also really just amazing. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but just the opportunity to work at a studio while still studying. So let's go into the advanced visual effects and virtual production advanced program to begin with. So here are some of our past graduates' work that they have done in this particular program. So just to give you an idea of all the work that they've produced. Everything from modeling to lighting to compositing. And so let's explain about what this course is in general. So what exactly is VFX for virtual production? And so it was talked about a little bit earlier in the slide deck, but really it's where the actual physical world meets the digital world. So what happens is that in traditional visual effects, the visual effects are done after all the filming is done, and we add it in post-production. But in virtual production, the visual effects are actually created before it's filmed. And then when they go to film, those visual effects are captured in camera. So as Cara said, the lighting is matching the background plate on that LED wall. And there's also other benefits that are with the virtual production setup. So for example, if we created a digital environment, now we don't have to travel to that location. So that saves time, that saves budget. Maybe it's dangerous to be in the actual physical location, and or maybe there's space limitations as well. So there are so many benefits to the virtual production workflow, and that's what we cover in this program. So we cover traditional visual effects. Those aren't going away, but we're adding the new workflow of the virtual production to this program. So general entrance requirements, what are these? We're looking for a portfolio. So this portfolio can really be a number of different things. Show us your passion. Show us your artwork. Show us the cinematography or composition skills that you have with photography. That's what we're looking for this particular program. Who is best suited for this program? People that are passionate about visual effects, people that really want to contribute to the next Mandalorian, all these big shows that you're seeing on the television screen, in the theaters, and so forth. And what are some potential career outcomes for this particular program? Well, of course, there's the VAD, so the virtual art department. This is a brand new department. There are new different roles being added to this almost on a weekly basis, it seems at this point. So there are existing roles and then also new roles that will be developed over the next number of years. There's compositing, effects, lighting, and a little bit of modeling, a little bit of sculpting, not as much as our other program that I will be talking about shortly. So this is just a brief overview. I'm not going to go through this in depth, but you can see how our program is laid out over those 2 years. So let's go into the other advanced program that I'm going to talk about today, and that is the advanced 3D animation and the 3D modeling program. So again, here's some really great work of our alumni that they've created. So some sculpting, some modeling, texturing. So this is how it is different from the visual effects for virtual production program, is it gets deeper into the animation. You get to rig the character and the object. So how do they move? You need rigging to make them move. How do we animate the characters and objects? How do we recreate them to create those digital environments and digital props and characters? So what exactly is 3D animation and 3D modeling? Well, we saw some examples in the last few slides, which are really great examples of what exactly it is. These can be either for full CG shows, or they can be for live action. So with people, environments filmed, and then basically CG elements added to those plates. So there's a number of different ways that these can be incorporated for 3D modeling and 3D animation. Now, general entrance requirements, these are very similar to the VFX for virtual production. Show us your work. If you have previous experience in modeling and animation, we'd love to see it. If you don't worry. That's what we do here. We, again, just want to see that art portfolio. Show us your photography, cinematography skills, any kind of art-based skills. And that's what we're looking for that portfolio. Who is best suited? Maybe you have a love for animation. You have a favorite TV show or movie that's animated. Maybe you like to recreate creatures or objects or environments. So you're not so interested in some of the other things, like maybe lighting isn't your thing, or effects isn't your thing, but you want to make things move. You want to create objects and just beautiful different elements. Then this program's for you. Potential career outcomes. So it's a little bit different than the visual effects for virtual production. There are some overlapping roles, but primarily just some of them are a generalist, 3D modeler, sculptor, digital sculptor, texture artist, rigger, and animator. And of course, there are others as well. So again, this is just an overview of our 2-year program. You can take a little bit more of a look of it in depth. And if you have any further questions about it, please reach out to our team and we can definitely help with that.
Thanks, Melissa Best.
Thank you.
Take care. So when you build a house, it's important to have a strong foundation. And you're building a career, it's even more important to have a strong foundation. I should have switched that slide first. So a strong foundation is everything. I'd like to welcome Ed Coe, our Foundation in Entertainment Arts Program Director, to talk about the Foundation in Entertainment Arts Program at the BBC. Hello, Ed.
Greetings. Greetings from Calgary. How are you, Tyler?
I'm not bad. I'm enjoying Christmas early.
I know, so festive. Great.
Take it away.
Right. So I'm sure that there's some of you who are in attendance that just heard about all these exciting projects. So you got all these energy, right? But you're not sure, like you don't have any prior experience or you have very little experience. You're not sure how to channel that energy, right? Where to direct kind of your passion. So that's kind of our job at Foundation, is to help you connect the dots, show you from how to start from the very, very basic, okay? Something like, I'm sure everyone has heard of drawing, paper and pencil. Some of you probably play with some Play-Dohs when you were still very, very young, right? So pay attention. I want to direct your attention to the 2 sculpture here. One is in the bottom left, the horse. One is center top is a clay sculpture. And just kind of put that in your mind for now. And I will kind of briefly explain why this is very important to kind of help you connect the dots from the very basic to the more advanced concept. So let's go to the next slide. I'll explain. So who is best suited for this program? Let's go for it's if you're an absolute beginner, right? You're just excited about stuff and you're not even sure which direction you want to go into. Our job at Foundation is to kind of build a mental map for you. We have classes that deal with things like drawing. And what is drawing about is figure out how to represent something on a page. And in our program, what you'll find is in the same class, not only we will show you how to do that on a paper, which everybody's familiar with, is we'll also show you how to do that on a screen using professional software. So by relating that ideas, use different tools to cover the same idea, you'll be able to figure out, oh, so it's all about these same fundamental theory that you can use to apply to more advanced ideas, the different programs, right? You figure out, are you more excited about making something move? Maybe animations for you, right? Are you more excited about creating, like matching 2 different worlds into the same world? Maybe compositing is for you, right? More visual effects. Or if you want to create your own world and your character, you want to make it move inside, you want to interact with the world with your own character, then maybe we even have a program in the future, which is the game development program, which Scott will come in and kind of talk about his program, right? That's coming very, very soon. So we have, as you can see, we have classes like sketching classes, right? Which is very easy to understand. We have sculpting classes. So what you find is throughout each term, we have a class that does more on the 2D side and classes that deal with more 3D side. And hopefully by the end, you have a very good knowledge on how to deal with visual information in both 2D and 3D, right? So then you can make a very educated decision on where you want to focus. And I want to highlight one class from term 2, which is prepare for advanced programs. And that is very, very unique to our school. Is in that specific class, we actually bring in instructors from different advanced programs to really kind of introduce you, right? What's required, what each advanced program is about in more details, right? So you never have to guess. That's the beauty of doing the foundation program within CEA, is we really help build the map for you. We answer the question for you. So everything is very precise. The decision you make is very precise and is tailored to your interest and what you want to do, right? What you're really excited about. So we bring back to the very, very first thing. Some of you right now is definitely, I hope you're really excited about this program, right? Is this can really help you build that bridge and take you into what you want to do for your future. So, and that's it for the foundation program. And, feel free to reach out if you have more questions about our program. I'll send you back to our host, Tyler.
Thanks, Ed. Well put. I'm going to switch the slides now and do it right. This slide says 180 billion reasons to be a game developer. That's the estimated 2020 global revenue for the gaming industry. I actually think it's more than that. The pandemic has been terrible, of course, for a lot of people, but it has been kind of a way for the video game industry and the movie and television industries to kind of boom, because there's so much content being consumed that the companies are putting it out when you're staying at home. You have more time to play video games, which I've actually started doing again. I'd like to welcome Scott Morin, Advanced Game Development Program Director, to talk a little bit about the program and talk about ways how you can take your piece of that $120 billion in revenue. Scott, how do they become billionaires?
Thank you, Tyler. Well, the answer is simple. You join the Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Art Program game development and make your next Fortnite or Flappy Birds. No, I'm just kidding. There's a saying that any veteran game developer will tell you that it's a miracle any game is shipped. And I like to think that one of the things we teach you in these programs is how to replicate that miracle and make it a bit easier for next time. Because making games is not just fun in games. It's a lot of hard work. But again, that's our job, to make it approachable and understandable, no matter what your background is or your experience level. So I'd like to just share some of the student projects that have been made at Center for Entertainment Arts here. You'll see a wide variety of game types, everything ranging from 2D sprite platformers to more rogue-like based card games, to first-person shooters with multiplayer elements and auto battlers even. Not just 2D or first person, we also cover isometric games as well. And a lot of these games are made under extremely tight time and creative constraints, because that's exactly how you'll be working at a studio. You'll be given these what seem like impossible boundaries to work within. And as developers, it's your job to find creative and fun solutions. So game development can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. In general, I'd say if you're interested in art, so if you want to make and model sweet creatures or animate them, if you're into lighting and you want to make beautiful environments or make the art for the environments as an environmental modeler, there's the art side of game development. There's also the programming side of game development, of actually implementing all these crazy ideas that the designers and artists have, the people making the magic happen with writing C# or blueprint scripting. And of course, the design aspect of creative problem solving, planning, and critical thinking. So game development at Bow Valley College Center for Entertainment Arts is all three of those things. And you're going to be making a lot of games throughout your time here. So because it's so varied, the general entrance requirements are also varied. Even in the industry, you're going to see people who have architectural degrees, people coming from engineering, from the military, you name the backgrounds, there's a game dev who has it. So whatever your background is, what really matters is showing creative problem solving and critical thinking, because every day you're going to face a new challenge at a studio, working together on a team. And that's another huge aspect to show off in your portfolio as well, if you can, the ability to work well in a team. So I already named a bunch of positions, but there's even more. If you're interested in telling stories, narrative design, user experience design, live operations, which is such a hot position that studios are in dire need of. Programming, whether it's tools or rendering or gameplay, or again, art, whether it's characters, environment, lighting, and of course, animation to bring everything to life. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the different courses we have in the program. Now, I won't dive into details here, but I want you to pay attention that there's an even split between design, art, and programming throughout most of the program. And you're going to be able to lean into the subjects and the areas that you find interesting and compelling. Another thing I want you to pay attention to here is there's a lot of development courses. So throughout your time in the program, you're going to make upwards of 10 games. And, you know, I wish I made 10 games when I was in school, because the best way to learn is by doing. And that's how we set you up for success. So I'm going to pass it back over to Tyler. And thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Alberta is growing. I've had a lot of chats with the film commissioner, different people in the government agencies, and Bow Valley College is investing in the future of Alberta. The province of Alberta has announced a tax credit, which is very important, especially for the visual effects industry, gaming as well. But you know, visual effects hoards around a tax credit, that's for sure, because that's how the industry is, and that's how it works. Montreal, Alberta now, Vancouver. Alberta is an exciting time. So here to talk a little bit about that and the programs in general as our BVC CEA program chair, Jeff Clemens. Are you there?
I am. I can even click the buttons to get on here. So how are you doing tonight?
Told you he's clever. I'm good, Jeff. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Sounds good. All right. So we're really excited about Valley College to be bringing this CA. I mean, wow, look at who led before me. Like, what an exciting team to be talking after. I feel like I feel like I'm so excited to be listening to what they talk about and seeing what the students are going to be able to do in the future. Today, we actually got to see where the classrooms are and everything that is being done in the classroom. These classrooms were done to look just like a real studio. So it's not like you're going to be sitting in a regular classroom, like a lot of our classrooms, which are very boring. I'll be honest with that. These ones are real studio classrooms. You'll be sitting there with the technology that you need. We're looking at making sure that all of the information and all of the equipment that you need to actually be working in the field is sitting there right for you on the computers, ready to go. You're not installing things. Because if anybody's been installing these platforms, they're not fun. We've got that ready for you. So you sit down and you're ready to go. You're going to be using you're going to be using pencils with Ed's course. You're going to be using clay or mud, and you're actually going to be doing something that you'd be doing in the industry. You're not going to be. It's not all theory. It's not something that doesn't. I mean, obviously theory matters, but you'll be ready to go when you finish. And so that's kind of where I get to come in here. I get to be the hype person to talk about how exciting it is. And as someone who is from Calgary, who I say Calgary, I miss the area at the end of that. It's amazing for Calgary. We just across the street from here, Last of Us was being filmed a couple weeks ago. They shut down an entire street for that. A couple blocks over, they did the same thing. And to see all these Fraggle Rock that I grew up watching was done here in Calgary. So to have things like that coming to Calgary, coming to Alberta, if you've seen the new Ghostbusters, we actually went to the library, which is across the street, and there's a scene in that library in the room that we were in today that is actually filmed there. I remember going to Drumheller when I was little, and I saw the theater there. The theater that I saw Addams Family, the old Addams Family movie on with my cousin, is in the Ghostbusters movie. So not only you get the nostalgia of Ghostbusters, but you're going, oh my gosh, I've been there. Paul Rudd is in the Walmart that I went to last week. So it's really cool what's coming to Alberta, and it's even better that it's coming here to BVC. We're right in the heart of downtown, which is amazing. Yes, we have an amazing facility here that you probably won't want to leave, but you go a couple blocks away and we've got our Chinatown where the food is fantastic. You go a couple blocks over the other way and you've got East Village where, again, food is fantastic. Apparently I've got a trend here. But just all these really cool things that you can do right around us. And when you leave the campus, you walk a couple blocks and you see the river. You've got the Peace Bridge. You've got the Bell Music Center. Out the window of where your classrooms will be, you'll have geese, because there's actually Canada geese that nest outside the classroom, which is just kind of a cool thing at the campus. So I think all of these things, once you put it all together and you see what's coming and what's going to be here, it's going to change Alberta, it's going to change Calgary, and it's something that we're really, really excited to bring here. So I feel like I'm just the excited one at the end, but it's been really cool. It's amazing to see what we're able to bring to Calgary. So
Thanks very much, Jeff.
thanks.
Next, we have Nikisha Felix, the Bow Valley College Student Recruitment Specialist, talk about some admission requirements again and some other of the technical bits. Hi, Nikisha.
Hi there. Hi.
I leave it to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikisha. I am one of the student recruitment specialists at Bow Valley College, and I'm here to speak to you about admissions and some of the things that we look for in admissions. Next slide. Okay, so to qualify for admissions, learners must demonstrate their language proficiency, typically through a high school, college, or university transcript, or through a test of English language proficiency. So if you look here, we do have a list of some of the English language proficiency requirements that we have. So we have the Alberta Education English Language Arts, the Duolingo score, the Bow Valley College Academic English 2, the Canadian language benchmarks, the IELTS academic, and the Pearson test of English A and TOEFL. And the scores are on the right side. So these are what we typically look for if, say, English isn't your first language and you're from a different language, different country, sorry, and you need to prove your English proficiency. These are some of the tests or the English proficiency requirements that we require. Slide. So for the portfolio and transcripts, So as mentioned earlier, we have the certificate program, which requires a 5 to 10 pieces of artistic work for the certificate program, which is typically a year, and that's just the foundation program. And the more advanced diplomas require a 10 to 20 pieces for the more advanced, so more extensive. And these include sketches, renderings, design variations in a digital format. Applicants must complete their high school diploma or equivalents. Programs are open to all students, qualified students of all ages, including working experience or students who are mature students as well. We do look for the most recent transcripts and a graduation diploma, and obviously for admissions. So the tuition here for the certificate programs, for domestics and international students, the prices are the same. So that's $21,000. For the more advanced diploma programs that we have here, the advanced animation and the 3D modeling, the advanced visual FX, there are approximately $37,000. And this includes your tuition, software licenses, the dedicated student computer and study material. It also includes other required costs, such as like the medical coverage, student service fees, student association fees, and other fees that are required for this program as well. The only additional cost is the $75 that you will have to pay prior to getting into the program, which is non-refundable for domestic students, and the $140 for international students. I do want to mention that for domestic students, we do have student loans that you can apply for. And for international students, there are scholarships or bursaries that you can apply for as well. The best way to find out about our scholarships and student loans is through our website or you can email financialaid@bovalleycollege.com. Bow Valley does have close to $1 million in bursaries and awards for students. So we have awards for students who are straight from high school, anybody who are mature students, even if you're an Indigenous or a single parent. We have scholarships for practically anybody who's looking to pay for their tuition. So I wanted to tell you about our Indigenous Storyteller Scholarship and the English Language Scholarship, the Entrance Scholarship as well. So the Indigenous Storyteller Scholarship is an entry award automatically awarded to students who identify as an Indigenous. They are a smaller entrance award for Indigenous students who qualify for admissions, and they must be admitted to the CEA program. They are $4,000 each, so once you apply, you automatically get that award. It is only for the winter of 2022 and the spring of 2022. For the entrance scholarship are for international students. If you could also email financialaid.com, financial aid. If you go on our website, go on financial aid, they can give you more details as to how do you qualify for these scholarships. You can also get a hold of us on recruiting@bovalleycollege.ca, and we can give you more information about our scholarships available to you as well. And that's all I have for Bow Valley recruitment.
Who knew you could make it that exciting? Thanks very much, Nikisha. Okay, well, it's crying time, everybody. We're almost done here. And the Indian students can go back to bed. If you're in India right now, I'd imagine you got up pretty early for this one. But I guess we could open it up for a little bit of question and answers. If anybody has any, you can put in the Q&A column here in Zoom. It seems like Divakar is answering quite a bit of those through text, but if there's anything else, we can do that. If not, we can always be in contact with the BVC CEA or Divakar if anybody's got his contact on WhatsApp. Nothing. I didn't prepare a song. I didn't prepare much for the ending. Well, I can answer that one. In Calgary, digital recreations of things. In Calgary, the industry is growing, and I've been talking to a lot of studios and a lot of production companies that are coming into the province, and a lot of the studios from Los Angeles, Warner Brothers, the Amazons, the Netflix are looking at Calgary to do some shooting. They're going to have some state-of-the-art facilities built and also being built in the near future. So it's a perfect time for Alberta. Again, COVID was a lot of ways a horrible thing, but it did change the work from home, and it changed the it changed the visual effects and video game industry. So you can work anywhere. So you're seeing a lot of people migrate between provinces because they can work at home. In Calgary, the housing is cheaper than Vancouver, so you're seeing some people come out there, and that's an attractive incentive for a lot of people. So there are visual effects in Calgary already, and that's obviously only going to grow as well as the film industry is obviously there, but it's also growing as well. And they're going to need people, and that's why this is such an exciting time, especially for the school. Devakar, do you want to come on if you can and answer a few of these? Sorry, Baxter, I don't understand what is about digital recreations of things. I'm not sure I understand the question exactly. What does it take to work in a studio while you study? What could you tell me about the people who made it? That's a good question. Francisco, it takes a work ethic. And it takes, I've worked with a lot of people in the past that are very talented, but, they're not that easy to work with. Or, talent is important, of course, but, your work ethic is equally, if not more important. So the students that initially got involved in the work program, and I'm going to be honest with you, most studios don't want to hire students out of the bat because, it's hard to train them, and it's hard to get them involved. But there are some students that I saw a lot of potential in, but also the work that they were doing and taking it above and beyond what they were required to do essentially in some of their classes. So that's what it takes. It takes hard work, and it takes, sort of you can see a passion in somebody that wants to get into it. So, and to be honest, other students are fueled by that student who gets into that studio. So once I had one person placed, we started to see more studios going like, oh, okay, that worked out. I see this studio got involved. Why don't I take a student? So they took a student, and it just snowballed. And we have the CEA has a good reputation for our students coming out of the program and having a good idea and a confidence of what they're doing. And of course, every studio is different, and every studio has different pipelines and tools, and that is learned on the job. You're sort of going to get a second education coming out of CEA for whatever studio that you go to, because everyone is a little bit different. But yeah, hard work. Show up for your classes, show up for your teachers. And I mean, show up in a way, not just physically, but, mentally, that you're there and you're engaged and doing things. That's what it takes. Is there any Andrew Charles, is there any overlap between students in the various programs? Example, do the different studios ever work together or talk or do projects together? Yes, and especially in 2022, we've got some ideas. After Game of Thrones, I left for a little bit to help out with the school, just to take a bit of a break. And when I got back after a year, we had a completely different addition to the pipeline, which was the Unreal Engine, and doing shows like Snowpiercer in there. That didn't happen. That happened so fast. So the integration between in the virtual production program in Calgary, or the integration between the gaming students, providing some Unreal stuff to the visual effects students, and vice versa, some animation students providing some things to some gaming students, and of course animation within compositing. Of course, it's all intertwined, just as the studio works. Every department intertwined to make a final product.